The opening track on A Dramatic Turn of Events is called On the Backs of Angels, and you can get that now on iTunes. And it starts with a clean/acoustic arpeggiated opening. The other interesting thing about this intro is the time signatures, and you can really break it up in many different ways, but just to keep it simple, it's a measure of 4/4, then a measure of 7/4, and then 2 measures of 4 and a measure of 7, and the whole thing can be played with an even chord note click. So a couple of noteworthy things about that intro. First of all, the way it was recorded. It has 2 clean guitar tracks. One of them is totally clean on the left. The other one has a phaser pedal. It's on the right, so it gives a nice kind of stereo image. And then there's also double-tracked acoustic guitars, and then also double-tracked Nashville tuned acoustic. So there's 6 guitars on there, and it kind of gives this nice thick 12-string-ish type of thing, like a la Pink Floyd. And the other thing is just about the technique. I'll explain how I play it and what I'm thinking about as I play it. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, the opening chord is an E minor add 9. I'm just fretting it in such a way that I take advantage of a bunch of open strings. So the low E and the high E ringing around the middle sort of cluster of the chord. So the cluster is here, and then the open low E and high E surround that. Also, I'm not using strict alternate picking on this. I'm kind of doing, as I'm playing from low to high, doing a lot of downstrokes, and then I start alternate. Something that I do a lot for some strange reason. It was a habit I got into, but it sort of feels really comfortable for me and sounds very even, as opposed to doing strictly alternate. So watch my right hand. So you see the consecutive ascending strings are done almost in a sweep sort of style. And then the alternate starts. The other thing that's noteworthy is that there's a trick to doing this in that you have to sustain the open strings. And that's what kind of gives it this dreamy sound, especially with the double tracking and the phaser on it and everything like that. If you didn't have that, it would just sound sort of plain and staccato. So you have to make sure that your left-hand technique is such that you get a nice arch and you're getting away from the strings that are ringing. So watch how I play the opening phrase and listen to all the ringing of open strings that's going on. So it sounds a bit dissonant here and there, but that kind of is the whole mysterious nature of this line. So I started by using the E minor add 9, where B is in the melody with my second finger. And then I changed that B to a C. So it's just kind of like a C chord over E. And then from there I play a melody on the D string, and I have the open G, B, and E strings ringing out. So the melody is... There's a lot of chromatic stuff going on, but the open E and B and G kind of keep the tonality of this E minor thing going. So after I play the initial line, to play this next chord shape, I incorporate my pinky to get the F sharp in there. Same here with this, it's like an F chord over an E. With a nice little tension, and it resolves. The second time through, it begins with the same figure that we began with. And then what happens, this is one of those moments on when you're writing something that you go, yes, and you make this discovery. So just by moving the same lick over here, down to here, we found a natural resolution from the 5 chord to the 1 chord. There's one other little twist there. So you kind of have this F sharp 7 as well, and then the E minor, a little Chopin-esque.